face is that that's a happy face or a sad face. And then the facilitator will say, tell me a time when you felt sad or loved. And then from there we talk about the feelings, because for the little ones we have to teach them the language of feelings, because most of them don't know it. So we have a whole series, I think we have 7 or 8 different games that are age appropriate. And the topics that we talk about are really what the kids initially taught me on the retreats. They need to talk about how they feel about their own self-esteem. Most of them believe that they cause the loss, because if you're, and this wouldn't be any of you because you're so old, but when you're younger, up until about age 14, the world revolves around you. And so if the world revolves around you, then I must have had something to do with what caused this change in the family. And they're angry, they're hurt, they have lots of fears. Most kids don't even think they're part of the family anymore. So those are all the issues that we really pulled out from the kids to know what they need to talk about and how they do it. It's not counseling or therapy. If you grieve, that's the natural emotion and experience you have when you've had a significant loss or change in your family or in your life. If you lose your job, you grieve. If you move out of your neighborhood, you're going to grieve. And the depth of the grief is in direct proportion to how much you were invested in what happened or what you lost. So from there, I mentioned that I had calls from 11 different principals wanting the program. So I had to make that decision to really start a children's charity. But then probably, 9 months later, I got my first call from someone who lived in another state who wanted the program, but I didn't know how to replicate the program. So I had to spend some time figuring that out, and then I had my very first conference in Chicago where there actually were 19 men and women from other states who wanted to bring rainbows to their state. So I had to create a whole way to make this replicatable. And that level of volunteers, so we had our facilitators, we call them, and still do, registered directors. And they are men and women who work for somebody else, a school system, a church system, maybe hospice, but in their job, they're going to be putting rainbows into the community. And those directors are our marketing team, our sales team, our training team, and our management team all rolled up into one. And that was really because of those directors how we expanded the program so quickly. And then the second year, I'll never forget it, I had a phone machine, a message machine, and this woman said, her name, and that she was calling from Dublin, Ireland, and she had heard about rainbows, and she wants to bring it, send her the curriculum. And I thought, well, that's not really going to work either, because I don't know how to replicate it internationally, and I don't know how it will go internationally. And traditionally, other countries are 10, back then it was maybe 20 years behind America in different initiatives that they were doing. So I explained to this woman that I couldn't just put it, ship it to her, that we needed to train people to do the program. And I explained the whole concept about the directors. And she said that that would be great. She could get men and women to come to a conference. It's a 6-day conference. And she said, so will 3 or 4 do? And I go, no, it's too much work for me for 3 or 4. I've got to have 12 or I'm not coming. But ultimately, she had 35 people there, which was pretty cool. We're in Ireland, in Dublin, at a center. I did not realize then that divorce was illegal in Ireland, which I thought it was pretty ironic that I'm coming there to teach them how to help kids of divorce when it's against the law. But what they explained to me